Hi there, my name is Michael and thanks for joining today. Right now, I'm on my way to meet with a new project team. We will be working on merging the master patient index from 3 hospitals, all located within a close geographical distance from one another. Just in case you don't already know, a master patient index serves as the main database where a patient's identity is referenced or retrieved for all business functions, including those that are administrative, clinical, and financial in nature. This includes actions such as registering a patient, administering a medication, or submitting a claim. Here we are at the conference room. Go ahead and have a seat and watch our kickoff meeting unfold. Thank you everyone for coming to our kickoff meeting today. My name is Michael Alvarez and I currently work as a lead project manager with San Marcos Memorial Hospital. If you're here today, then you have been selected based on your skills and experience to be part of this team that has been tasked with merging the MPIs from our respective hospitals into one master patient index. Our team is made up of individuals representing each hospital to ensure that we maintain a 360 approach to planning and delivering a merged MPI that supports our shared vision of delivering quality healthcare to our community moving forward. Our main goal will be to carry out all the planning and technical components of this project, along with establishing or modifying the policies needed to successfully merge MPI data and support its ongoing maintenance. We should expect to encounter a high number of duplicate patient accounts and records due to the proximity between our 3 facilities. So therefore, much of our effort will be identifying duplicate data so that there is no disruption to business functions such as coding and billing, and also so that our systems continue to support clinical decisions and prevent medical errors for our physicians, support staff, and patients. The go-live date for the completely merged systems is February 1st, 2020, which gives us approximately 28 weeks to complete this project. Last week, I sent out an invitation to this meeting along with an outline of the project scope and how you might be asked to contribute to this project. At this time, I'd like to go around the room and introduce some of the key people that will be leading different elements of this project. After I introduced you to the team, if you can please just give us a brief outline of what actions you think this project will require, or how your role or area of expertise impacts the planning process moving forward. First up, we have Danielle Heath. Danielle comes to us from Northridge Hospital and is the Data Quality Manager.
Thank you, Michael, for that warm introduction. Today I'm going to go over several things regarding the MPI merger. The first thing I would like to touch on is the quality of data that we get from the merger. Bobcat University Hospital is the newest as well as the largest facility in our proposed merger, so it would be in the best interest of all the facilities involved to merge with us. Let me explain why. Because we are a new facility and have the newest top-of-the-line EHR system in place, we can put out the cleanest and most current data. Also, it would be easier for our facility to absorb the smaller MPIs from the other facilities. The oldest facility in the proposed merger would be North Heights Hospital. We can run a program to archive the older files and records for that facility before the merger to ensure the cleanest, most up-to-date merger possible. All of the archived files can go into a legacy database that can be accessed by management when needed, and we can move the file from archived to current when the patient presents themselves at any of the facilities involved with the merger. With this merger of the 3 hospitals, we're looking at close to 1 million patient records combined to filter and merge. With such a high number of records, another thing to consider with the merger is duplicate patient records. Since most mergers take place with facilities that are close in proximity to one another, it is not uncommon for them to share referrals and therefore have some of the same patients in their database. It would be uncommon to encounter a duplicate rate of less than 50% when two or more facilities are merging. I would estimate that our merger would contain at least 65% of duplicate patients. We will work endlessly with IT to establish a way to link these patients so that duplicates do not pose a problem and so that it does not bog down our database. For mergers to be successful, each facility needs to be on the same page, and everyone from health information management to IT needs to work as a team. Together, we will develop and write policies to ensure key demographic data are accurate and used to link records across the EHR. These policies must address the accuracy of information at the initial point of capture using front-end verification, including timely correction of duplicate records and quality monitoring using duplicate creation rate. We will outline duplicate record validity procedures and ensure that they are followed to help ensure that we do not merge the identities of two separate individuals' records. We can use record leaking algorithms to help avoid this issue.
Thank you, Danielle, for providing us with all that great information. Next, we'd like to go ahead and hear from Teresa, who is the Director of Health Information Management and Medical Staff Services.
Good afternoon. I'm Teresa Blazer. I'm the Director of Health Information Management and Medical Staff Services. As the Director of Health Information Management and Medical Staff Services, my responsibility spans from planning and coordinating project team meetings to promoting the understanding for financial and clinical risk of duplicate records. I will also act as a liaison between the project team and the health information management and medical staff. As the director, I will ensure that policies and procedures are being implemented in the MPI merger. The HIM department is the hub for identifying and mitigating registration errors. My staff will sift through the MPI, merging duplicate records and separating out information that has been overlaid into the wrong patient account. Sometimes what my employees will learn about the types of MPI errors occurring in patient registration, they should never share it with certain departments. This is because the HIM and registration department are typically managed through different departments. There can be an information exchange disconnect between the two areas. I believe I will have them pass along certain information because if the registration staff do not know what they're doing wrong, then how can they correct it? I would like my facility to have an institute registration improvement program. With this program, there will be featured cross-department committees whose purpose is to reduce registration errors and clean up the MPI. With the registration improvement program, this committee will provide feedback to the registration department, and communication is the key to a facility MPI cleanup effect. Instead of the HIM doing the cleanup work solely on the back end, registration now can use the information to improve accuracy on the front end. I will ensure that our facility will have a detailed and well-developed policy and procedure manual. This manual will be accessible to all medical staff, and I encourage each member to always be updated on all the new policies and procedures. Within the policy manual, I will include a continuing education program to ensure that all employees are kept up to date on all policies, compliance, and job-specific requirements. I will ensure we will perform regular chart audits to decrease the number of errors that may be made. By performing chart audits, we will see fewer errors, but we will also see which errors are more common. Once we identify which errors are more common, then we can develop a policy system and training to reduce them.
Thank you, Teresa, for that great information. Next, we'll hear from our systems analyst and interface engineer, Wale. Could you please give us some information about the technical aspects of this project?
Hello, everyone, and thanks for the warm welcome. As you all know, I'm the systems analyst for this merger between Bobcat University Hospital, North Ridgewood Hospital, St. Marcus Memorial Hospital, and Guadalupe Memorial Hospitals. I would be walking you through what my role on this merger process exactly would entail, the possible difficulties that might be experienced during this process, and measures that will be put in place to successfully resolve these issues. As a systems interface engineer, I would be responsible for the integration of the different clinical and financial systems from all the hospitals involved that was mentioned earlier. I would also be responsible for the integration of the technologies and the platform configuration in the multi-system environment, which is the kind of environment we would be working with. This would involve activities such as coding, testing, and documentation. Also, I would be responsible for providing an integrated solution to comply with the security requirements of these mergers, which would include the standards for multi-factor authentication, remote access, and also exchanging data between all four databases. Furthermore, it's also good to mention that we have a responsibility to ensure that we comply with software standards to protect the security, confidentiality of all the data involved in this merger process. And towards that end, I would be making recommendations on improvement processes and also the upgrading of certain current software and hardware. One of the main problems we might experience is data integrity problems. And I will be evaluating the data integrity of the first database before we add the second one and before we add the third one. Data integrity problems in the source database would always be compounded and increased if it's not resolved before we add another database. These data integrity issues that I'm mentioning might include things like invalid data stored in various fields, wrong default values used, and also the frequency of blank values, and the identification of potential duplicates, overlap, or overlay of records. Also checking for potential duplicates. We will merge and correct these duplicates because merging records in systems would always could have some duplicates, some overlays, and we have to be able to streamline all these records to make sure this does not occur. Also, we have to combine and correct paper medical records or radiology jackets if an efficient method of cross-referencing these records cannot be achieved. Okay, if we cannot achieve an efficient method of cross-referencing medical records or patient IDs to the surviving medical record number, we would have to correct them manually. Okay. One more thing we'd have to do or look out for is specifying and standardizing data definitions, including exactly what is to be captured in all of the data fields. For example, one system from one of the previous hospitals might include prefixes or suffixes in the name field, while another might use a separate field, okay? So we have to make sure we standardize data definitions through all the databases for all four hospitals, okay? And also, we have to ensure we map data fields from the old system to the new system, we have to transfer the data fields from the old systems, I would say, because it's 4 different systems, to the new ones. Okay, and the final phase of this whole system will include formulating test scripts. The test script is the script we use to test out the systems to make sure they're actually working. And also, we'll test each and every data field thoroughly and repetitively using different cases to ensure all the records were successfully converted. Okay, we have to do a lot of testing, and we will need test scripts for this. Also, we have to validate samples of records after the conversion to ensure the data integrity, as I mentioned earlier. And the very, very, very last thing we would be doing is training users and system administrators or analysts on how to utilize the new system, the new system we made from the old one. That will be the final step. And this training process would take about 4 weeks to complete. To be able to, I mean, that's a minimum. We'll have a minimum of 4 weeks to be able to complete the training successfully. That will be all for now. Additional information will be provided as needed as we go along during this whole process. Thank you.
Thank you so much for all that wonderful information. Next, we'll hear from Ivy, who is our Director of Patient Accounts and Registration.
Good morning. I hope everyone is doing well today. My name is Ivy, and I am the Director of Patient Accounts and Registration. My key responsibilities will be overseeing all functions of inpatient and outpatient accounting. I will also be responsible for education, training, and positive enforcement of appropriate working practices. So today, we will be discussing the policies within the 3 facilities and how we will be merging them. We will be designing a new policy and procedure that fits all of the facilities, and we will be combining these policies by examining which policies are needed and which ones we can exclude. These policies will be merged into one and will be provided to all the facilities. We will be adding additional policies to the MPI Merger to guarantee the privacy and security of the patient. We will also be implementing thumbprint biometrics that will ensure only specific healthcare providers can access one's personal records. We will also guarantee privacy by making sure the physicians are constantly changing their passwords and attending cybersecurity classes to prevent any breaches from occurring. We will also be doing annual audits to go over who is accessing what records to ensure the privacy and security within the facilities. Some training efforts that will be implemented is a paid data security training class, which we talked briefly about, and this will be to avoid data breaches and to make sure that all employees know what steps to take when a breach has occurred and what steps must be taken to prevent a breach from occurring. We will also have a data algorithm within the facilities which will merge and detect duplicates. If a new patient is coming, the algorithm will also detect if the patient has been to any of these 3 facilities. An alert will pop up when the data entry receptionist is inputting the data, and they will have to contact IT to merge the patient's records. That way the physician can continue to add to the records and generate an accurate diagnosis. So in order to make this possible, we're going to have to hire more IT employees. They will be temporary just for the beginning of the implementation, and they will be able to help detect any overlapping or duplications. Lastly, the registration and account staff will be supporting and impacting the MPI data by collecting accurate data for good data quality, and they must be able to find and merge duplicate accounts if they find any. This will also promote data quality through the MPI and will help achieve meaningful use within the facilities. Because of the accurate data being input, it will help guarantee accurate billing and proper reimbursements are being made, which will help create trust within the patient and the physician relationship. This quality will be generated through the staff's hard work and constant training to guarantee accurate data entry, and this will provide to the continuum of care and will help us reach meaningful use.
Thank you so much for providing us with all that great information, Ivy. That about wraps up everything that we have for today. Judging by what I heard from all of you, it looks like we have a very talented team moving forward, and I'm very excited to work on this project with you as we merge not only our MPI but our hospital system all together. We will reconvene in about 2 weeks once our hospitals finalize the merger process, at which time we'll go over some more specific project guidelines and also start to set some goals. Thank you so much for coming today, and I hope you have a great day.